In a rapidly evolving geopolitical landscape, the dynamics of technology and leadership are increasingly intertwined. Recently, two significant narratives have emerged from China that underscore President Xi Jinping's strategic maneuvering in the realms of artificial intelligence (AI) and political ideology. As the world watches closely, these developments hint at a shifting global balance and raise critical questions about the future of international relations and technological progress. One of the most intriguing insights into Xi Jinping's leadership style and political philosophy comes from Joseph Torigian's new book, The Party's Interests Come First. Torigian delves into the complexities of Xi's upbringing and the influence of his father Xi Jinping, a prominent figure in the Chinese Communist Party. By examining the personal and ideological roots of Xi's governance, Torigian offers a unique perspective on the motivations driving China's current policies. Understanding Xi through the lens of his father's legacy reveals the deep-seated beliefs that prioritize the party's stability and control above all, Torigian explains. This approach sheds light on Xi's recent emphasis on scientific, democratic and law-based policymaking, a surprising pivot considering his previous consolidation of power. This shift in rhetoric aligns with a broader trend where Xi appears to be echoing the sentiments of his predecessor Hu Jintao. At a recent Politburo meeting, Xi highlighted the importance of these principles, signaling a potential recalibration of China's governance model. The implications of this move are significant, suggesting that Xi may be seeking to balance the party's authoritarian tendencies with a veneer of inclusiveness and rationality. Analysts speculate that this could be an attempt to quell rising domestic discontent and strengthen the party's legitimacy amidst ongoing economic challenges. Meanwhile, China's ambitious plans in the field of artificial intelligence further illustrate Xi's strategic vision. On May 21, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance characterized the development of AI as an arms race, with China emphasizing concerns that America could fall behind. In contrast, Chinese leadership is adopting a different approach. Rather than focusing solely on the development of advanced AI models, they are prioritizing practical applications that integrate AI into everyday life and industry. This strategy is evident in the recent AI Plus campaign aimed at enhancing productivity through automation in various sectors. Zhang Yakan, a prominent figure in China's tech landscape, notes that while American firms focus on the model, Chinese players emphasize practically applying AI. This emphasis on real-world application has already propelled China to the forefront of e-commerce and payment systems, raising alarms in Washington about the potential for losing technological dominance. The recent unveiling of a large language model by a Chinese firm that rivals those from OpenAI underscores the competitive edge China is striving to achieve. The contrasting narratives of AI development reflect deeper ideological divides between the US and China. While American tech leaders often frame the conversation around utopian visions of artificial general intelligence (AGI), Chinese officials are more pragmatic, viewing AI as a tool for economic growth and societal transformation. This divergence in perspective is critical. It not only shapes domestic policies but also influences international perceptions of each nation's technological capabilities. As China accelerates its AI initiatives, the potential for a new technological landscape emerges. Experts like Kai-Fu Lee suggest that by prioritizing early adoption and broad application, China could establish a robust ecosystem before AGI reaches maturity. The Chinese government's focus on creating an environment conducive to rapid AI deployment while simultaneously planning for future innovations indicates a strategic long-term vision. Looking ahead, the implications of these developments will resonate beyond China's borders. As Xi Jinping continues to navigate the delicate balance between maintaining party control and fostering innovation, the international community must remain vigilant. The interplay of political ideology and technological advancement will undoubtedly shape the global order in the years to come. Both the US and China are at a crossroads, and the choices made now will define the trajectory of their respective roles on the world stage. As the race for technological supremacy unfolds, It is clear that the stakes have never been higher. In a landscape often obscured by political complexity and historical nuance, Joseph Torigian's forthcoming book The Party's Interests Come First offers a fresh lens through which to view China's paramount leader Xi Jinping. Rather than dissecting Xi's public policies or ideological proclamations, Torigian delves into the life of Xi's father Xi Jinping, a significant figure in the Chinese Communist Party CCP whose experiences profoundly influenced his son's political trajectory. This exploration provides a rare glimpse into the emotional and psychological fabric that has shaped Xi Jinping's leadership style and ideological commitments. In an interview with NPR, Torigian emphasizes that understanding Xi Jinping requires an appreciation of the personal and political legacy left by Xi Jinping. The elder Xi's life was marked by intense suffering and personal tragedy. Details that Torigian argues are critical to comprehending the motivations driving the current leader. Xi Jinping has often described how his own political agenda is rooted in what he learned from the revolutionary elders, and his father was one of the most important of those individuals, Torigian explains. He suggests that the nuances of Xi Jinping's complex personality and his struggles within the party may provide insight into Xi Jinping's own approach to governance. Throughout his life, Xi Jinping witnessed and participated in pivotal moments in modern Chinese history, from the party's early consolidation of power to its engagements with ethnic minorities and foreign communist parties. This historical backdrop is crucial as it illustrates the evolution of the CCP and the tensions that have persisted within it. Torigian points out that while many external observers view Chinese politics as a binary struggle between reformists and hardliners, the reality is far more intricate. What emerges from my book is an individual with fault lines within himself, an individual who was a man of competing impulses, he notes, highlighting the internal conflicts that characterized Xi Jinping's political life. The theme of personal suffering looms large in Torigian's analysis. Both Xi Jinping and Xi Jinping have endured significant hardships, which raises critical questions about loyalty and dedication to the party. Torigian posits that witnessing his father's unwavering commitment to the CCP despite its betrayals likely influenced Xi Jinping's own loyalty. If my father continued to remain faithful, then why wouldn't I? Torigian suggests proposing that this familial loyalty may manifest as an even deeper commitment to the party's ideals, however dogmatic they may appear. Interestingly, Torigian also contemplates why Xi Jinping did not emerge from the shadows of the Cultural Revolution with a desire to reform the party. Instead, he seems to have internalized lessons that emphasize the necessity of a strong state to prevent chaos. What Xi Jinping learned, it seems, was that if you take ideology too seriously, that's dangerous because you get a cultural revolution. Torigian reflects, suggesting that Xi's experiences have shaped a leadership style characterized by a stark binary of loyalty and control. Torigian's work is noteworthy not only for its detailed examination of Xi Jinping's life but also for its broader implications regarding the nature of political loyalty within the CCP. The book raises poignant questions about whether a different party was ever possible, especially during moments of potential reform in the 1950s and 1980s. Ultimately, Torigian argues, the party's decisions to prioritize its interests over revolutionary zeal led to the stifling of potential reforms that could have altered its trajectory. As Xi Jinping continues to navigate the complexities of contemporary Chinese politics, the lessons derived from his father's life may play a significant role in shaping the future of the CCP. With Torigian's insights, readers are encouraged to consider how personal histories intertwine with political narratives, influencing not just individual leaders but the very fabric of governance in one of the world's most powerful nations. As the party grapples with both internal challenges and external pressures, the legacy of the Xi family will undoubtedly remain a critical element of its ongoing story. As world economies grapple with the repercussions of escalating geopolitical tensions, China appears to be seizing a strategic opportunity to bolster its influence in Latin America. The recent fourth ministerial meeting of the China-CELAC Community of Latin American and Caribbean States Forum held in Beijing showcased China's commitment to enhancing its economic ties with 33 nations in the region. This gathering unfolded against the backdrop of a trade war initiated by the United States, which has adversely affected global trade dynamics, including those in Latin America. During the summit, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced a credit line of 66 billion yuan, approximately $9.15 billion, for Latin American countries, alongside a new visa-free travel policy aimed at facilitating closer ties. Furthermore, China expressed its intent to enhance cooperation on various security matters, including cybersecurity, anti-corruption, and drug control. "We ride the tide of progress together to pursue win-win cooperation," Xi stated, emphasizing the deepening trade and investment ties that have developed between China and Latin America, with trade surpassing $500 billion for the first time in 2024. Such developments illustrate a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape, where China is increasingly positioned as the primary trading partner for Latin American nations, potentially overtaking the United States. The trade between China and Latin America has skyrocketed, increasing over 40 times since the start of the century. Xi Jinping highlighted the success of collaboration under the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), which has led to the implementation of over 200 infrastructure projects, creating more than 1 million jobs across the region. This expansion of China's influence comes at a time when U.S. policies are seen as counterproductive. As President Xi noted, there are no winners in the ongoing trade war. And he criticized bullying or hegemonism that leads to self-isolation. This sentiment resonates with several Latin American leaders who seek to assert their independence and diversify their economic partnerships. In a striking example of this diversification, Colombia recently signed a joint cooperation plan for the BRI during the China CELAC Forum, further aligning itself with China's economic vision. Colombian President Gustavo Petro characterized this relationship as a step towards multilateralism and emphasized the potential for clean energy initiatives to thrive through collaboration with China. Meanwhile, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva echoed similar sentiments, expressing a desire for increased investment and technology exchange with China. However, the U.S. is not standing idly by. The Trump administration has intensified efforts to reclaim influence in the region, as evidenced by its attempts to wrest control of the Panama Canal from Chinese interests. Recent pressure led to the sale of ports at both ends of the canal to a consortium led by BlackRock, while Chinese authorities are reportedly investigating this deal. Moreover, Panama has agreed to exit China's Belt and Road Initiative, signaling a complex and evolving tug-of-war for influence in the region. Yet as Latin America navigates this complex landscape, the corporate sector is also bracing for opportunities arising from the intensifying U.S.-China rivalry. As noted by Marcos Galperin, CEO of Mercado Libre, if Latin America plays its cards right, it could benefit significantly from the ongoing trade shifts between these two global powers. The implications of these developments are profound. As countries in Latin America increasingly engage with both the US and China, a trend of multipolarity is emerging, allowing for diversified economic partnerships. This shift not only enhances the region's growth prospects but also positions Latin America as a critical player in the global economic arena. Moving forward, the outcomes of these evolving relationships will be pivotal in shaping not only Latin America's economic future but also the broader geopolitical landscape. The increasing competition between the US and China is set to redefine trade dynamics, and the extent to which Latin American nations can leverage this rivalry will determine their path in the coming years. As nations navigate this intricate web of alliances, the focus will likely remain on fostering independence and pursuing strategic partnerships that can drive sustainable development across the region. In recent assessments from U.S. intelligence agencies, China has emerged as a more pressing threat to American interests than Russia, underscoring the shifting dynamics of global power. The annual threat assessment from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and the 2025 Worldwide Threat Assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency (DIA) reveal a comprehensive overview of China's strategic objectives and military advancements, painting a picture of a nation poised to challenge U.S. dominance across multiple domains. The reports indicate that while Russia maintains a formidable nuclear arsenal and technological capabilities, it is China that the US perceives as the greatest threat to its global leadership. Notably, the intelligence assessments dedicate substantial sections to analyzing China's intentions, military modernization, and capabilities, highlighting a growing concern within US defense circles. The ATA allocates 7 pages to China compared to 6 for Russia, while the DIA report devotes 5 pages to China and 3 to Russia. China's strategic ambitions are clear: to become the leading power in East Asia, unify Taiwan with the mainland, and achieve technological self-sufficiency by mid-century. President Xi Jinping's vision includes the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation by 2049 and the recent 5.2% increase in China's military budget to $247 billion, though actual spending is estimated to be much higher, reflects this commitment. Experts believe actual spending could range from $304 to $377 billion when including omitted expenses related to research and development. The modernization of the People's Liberation Army (PLA) is particularly alarming to the U.S. military, with advancements in various warfare domains enabling China to potentially seize Taiwan by force and enhance its power projection capabilities in the Western Pacific. The PLA is expected to meet key modernization milestones by 2027 and 2035, aiming for a world-class military by 2049. Noteworthy developments include the naval deployment of a third aircraft carrier, the CV-18 Fujian, set to become operational soon. China's missile capabilities have also seen significant upgrades. The PLA rocket force is reportedly fielding new ballistic missile systems, including the DF-27, which possesses hypersonic glide capabilities and an array of short, medium, and intermediate-range missiles. These advancements allow for long-range precision strikes against U.S. territories in the Pacific, including Guam and Alaska. The DIA reports that China's stockpile of nuclear warheads has surpassed 600 and is projected to exceed 1,000 by 2030, further intensifying the nuclear threat landscape. In addition to military advancements, China's cyber capabilities pose an ongoing challenge. The ATA report categorizes China as the most active cyber threat to U.S. interests, with state-sponsored hacking targeting various sectors, including defense and critical infrastructure. The Chinese government is also investing in advanced biotechnology and artificial intelligence to bolster its strategic capabilities, raising concerns about its intentions and potential subversive activities globally. While the assessments highlight China's growing military and technological prowess, they also acknowledge the challenges Beijing faces, including corruption, demographic issues, and economic struggles. The reports suggest that these domestic challenges could hinder the Chinese Communist Party's ability to maintain its grip on power and effectively project influence abroad. As these dynamics unfold, the implications for U.S. foreign policy are profound. The assessments indicate a need for a recalibrated approach to countering China's influence while addressing the multifaceted threats it poses. As the U.S. navigates this complex geopolitical landscape, the emphasis will likely shift towards strengthening alliances and enhancing deterrence strategies in the Indo-Pacific region. In conclusion, as both nations continue to vie for global supremacy, the U.S. must remain vigilant against the evolving threat posed by China. Future developments, including military expansions and technological advancements from Beijing, will undoubtedly shape the strategic landscape, necessitating a robust response from the United States and its allies in order to safeguard their interests and maintain stability in the region. The trajectory of U.S.-China relations will be closely watched as the world anticipates how these two powers will navigate their competition and cooperation on the global stage. In a significant reaffirmation of its commitment to Africa, China has reiterated that enhancing solidarity and cooperation with the continent will remain a cornerstone of its diplomatic strategy. During a recent group meeting commemorating Africa Day, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi addressed diplomatic envoys from over 50 African nations and representatives from the African Union, emphasizing the importance of mutual support and collaboration. This annual tradition underscores a long-standing relationship that has evolved into what many describe as a pivotal partnership for both parties. China will continue to support African countries, and vice versa, on issues concerning each other's core interests and major concerns, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning quoted Wang as saying. This statement reflects China's intent to deepen ties with Africa by delivering tangible benefits to the African populace while positioning itself as a reliable partner and friend. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation (FOCAC), a platform that has facilitated unprecedented growth in bilateral relations. Mao noted that the relationship between China and Africa is currently at its historical peak, highlighting the progress made since the FOCAC Beijing summit held in September 2024. At that summit, President Xi Jinping outlined 6 propositions aimed at modernization, along with 10 partnership actions designed to foster collaboration between China and Africa. These initiatives are seen as a new blueprint for high-quality cooperation, injecting fresh impetus into the relationship. Looking ahead, the upcoming Ministerial Coordinators meeting in Changsha, Hunan is poised to be a critical step in advancing the commitments made by leaders from both regions. We hope that this meeting will further boost our efforts to implement the common understandings reached by the leaders of both sides and accelerate modernization in both China and Africa, Mao added. This anticipation reflects a shared vision for a prosperous future grounded in cooperation and mutual respect. As China positions itself as a dominant player in Africa, the implications of this renewed commitment extend beyond mere diplomacy. It signifies an evolving landscape where economic, political, and cultural exchanges could reshape the continent's developmental trajectory. The focus on solidifying ties with Africa aligns with China's broader strategy of expanding influence and securing partnerships that foster sustainable growth. In conclusion, as China continues to enhance its diplomatic ties with Africa, the coming months will be pivotal in determining the trajectory of this relationship. The outcomes of the forthcoming meetings and initiatives will likely set the stage for deeper engagement with the potential to significantly influence both regions' futures. As the world watches, the partnership between China and Africa stands as a testament to the evolving dynamics of global diplomacy driven by mutual interests and shared aspirations.